Greatness doesn't begin when the world recognizes you. Greatness begins in silence, in the unseen places, in the secret moments when no one is watching. It begins in the mind before it ever touches the stage. Belief is the seed, and from that seed, everything else grows. Without belief, talent sits unused, potential dies unfulfilled, and dreams remain just words floating in the air. But when you believe, truly believe, you unlock a force inside you that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. Think about it. Every champion, every leader, every legend the world has ever known started with a belief long before the results ever came. Belief is not a reaction to success. Belief is the cause of success. It is the foundation on which everything else is built. When you tell yourself you are destined for more, when you declare it out loud and repeat it until it runs through your veins, you begin to act differently. You train differently, you fight differently. Belief pulls you out of bed before dawn. Belief keeps you moving when your body is tired and your mind screams to quit. Belief silences the doubt that tries to crush you. The world doesn't hand greatness to anyone. It doesn't knock on your door and say, "It's your turn." No, the world waits for those who are bold enough to believe first. That is why declaring greatness before achieving it is so powerful. It shifts your mindset. It builds a vision so strong that you start to live in alignment with it. You no longer see yourself as average, so you stop acting average. You no longer settle for small victories, so you start pushing for extraordinary ones. Belief changes not only how you see yourself, but also how the world sees you. But belief isn't just whispering quietly to yourself. Belief must be fierce, loud, undeniable. When you speak it out, when you declare who you are and who you will become, you commit to it publicly. You put your pride on the line, and that pressure forces you to rise to the level of your words. Belief that is spoken becomes a contract with yourself, one you cannot afford to break. When you say you are great, you are no longer allowed to act small. You are bound to the destiny you've spoken. And let me tell you something, the world responds to belief. People feel it. Opponents sense it. Allies are inspired by it. When you walk with belief, doors open that would remain closed to the timid. Opportunities come to those who carry themselves with unshakable confidence. Belief creates momentum, and momentum creates victory. Without it, even the most talented fighter can crumble. With it, even the most underestimated underdog can rise. But here's the truth. Belief is tested. Life will try to shake it, critics will try to mock it, failures will try to break it. And this is where most people give up. They believe only when things are easy. But true belief survives the storm. True belief says, "I will win even after a loss." True belief says, "I am destined for greatness even when everything around you screams otherwise." That is the kind of belief that creates legends. That is the kind of belief that makes history. So if you want to be great, start by believing. Not tomorrow, not when the world claps for you, not when success finally shows up. Believe now. Speak it now. Claim it now. Let that belief flow through every word you say, every step you take, every fight you enter. Because greatness is not a gift, it is a decision. It is born the moment you believe in yourself before anyone else does. Words are not just sounds that fade into the air. Words are declarations. Words are power. Words are weapons that can cut down fear, silence doubt, and shake the ground beneath your feet. When you say, "I am the greatest," those aren't just syllables strung together. They are a command to yourself, a challenge to the world, and a prophecy that demands fulfillment. Words shape reality, and when spoken with conviction, they set the course of destiny. Most people waste their words. They speak carelessly, they complain. They let negativity pour out of their mouths until it poisons their minds. And then they wonder why they never rise, why they stay stuck in the same place, why greatness never comes knocking. The truth is simple. The words you speak are the life you live. If you declare weakness, weakness becomes your reality. If you speak fear, fear takes over your steps. But if you declare strength, victory, and greatness, you start to align yourself with those very things. Your body, your habits, your discipline, they all rise to match the words you've put out into the world. That's why saying, "I am the greatest," wasn't arrogance. It was necessity. It was the fuel that turned training into obsession, fear into courage, and dreams into destiny. Words weren't noise. They were the building blocks of reality. Each declaration was a brick laid in the foundation of success. Each bold statement was a strike against doubt, a punch thrown at mediocrity. Speaking it out loud made it real, even before it happened. You see, when you declare something with enough conviction, you burn the bridge to doubt. You leave yourself no way out, but forward. That's the beauty of a declaration. It demands action. Once you say it, you can't take it back. You've committed yourself in front of the world, and now you've got no choice but to fight with everything you've got to prove it true. That kind of pressure is what forges champions. That kind of pressure forces you to rise to the level of your words. And let's not forget, words are not only for yourself, they are for your opponents too. When you declare greatness, you're not just building belief inside, you're planting seeds of doubt in the minds of those who stand against you. Your words echo in their heads, making them second guess, making them fear, making them see you as unstoppable long before the first blow is thrown. Words intimidate, words shift the fight before it even begins. But here's the warning, words without action are hollow. You can shout all day, but if you don't back it up with the grind, with the sweat, with the blood and sacrifice, then your declarations are nothing but empty noise. The power comes when the words and the actions unite. That's when declarations become destiny. That's when I am the greatest turns from a statement into a reality carved into history. So guard your words, but also use them boldly. Don't speak small. Don't declare mediocrity. Don't let the poison of doubt flow from your own lips. Speak life. Speak courage. Speak victory. Use words like a weapon. Use them like a hammer, shaping your reality with every syllable. Because the truth is this, the fight is won long before the first punch. The fight is won in the mind, in the heart, and on the tongue. Every word is a seed. Plant greatness, and greatness will grow. Plant fear, and fear will choke you. Plant courage, and courage will bloom. Your words are not noise, they are declarations of who you are and who you will become. Speak them with fire, live them with action, and let the world witness the prophecy unfold. One declaration is not enough. One moment of confidence will not carry you to greatness. You've got to speak it until it becomes part of your blood, your breath, your very identity. Speak it in the morning when you rise. Speak it at night when you're worn down. Speak it when you win, and speak it when you lose. Because repetition is how belief becomes unshakable. Repetition is how you carve truth into your soul until doubt has no room to live. When you say, I am the greatest, once people may laugh. They may dismiss it, call it arrogance, or shake their heads. But when you say it again and again and again, when you refuse to let their opinions silence you, suddenly it's not just noise anymore. It's a rhythm. It's a drumbeat. It's a war cry that builds and builds until it drowns out every critic and every whisper of fear inside you. Speak it until your voice convinces your mind, and your mind convinces your body, and your body convinces the world. Repetition is the key. Think of the hours in the gym, the endless punches thrown, the miles run, the sweat dripping day after day. The body learns through repetition, and so does the mind. Each time you declare greatness, it's another rep for your spirit. It's another push for your confidence. It's another strike against the voice of doubt that tells you you're not enough. Speak it until it becomes a reflex. Speak it until you no longer have to convince yourself, because belief is now instinct. But it's not only about what the words do for you, it's about what they do to the people watching. The more you repeat your declaration, the harder it is for the world to ignore it. At first they doubt, then they wonder, then they start to believe too. That's the power of relentless affirmation. When you don't stop, when you refuse to back down, when you keep declaring the same truth over and over, people begin to feel its weight. Your confidence begins to shift their perspective. Your belief begins to infect them. Speak it enough, and even your enemies start to wonder if maybe, just maybe, you're right. But let's be clear, this isn't blind chanting. This is an empty repetition. Every word you repeat must be backed by work, sacrifice, and action. Saying, I am the greatest, means nothing if your life doesn't match your words. The repetition is not to convince the world. You don't need to sell them a lie. The repetition is to condition yourself, to train your mind to align with your destiny, to remind you of the standard you've set and the level you must rise to. Speak it, then live it. Speak it, then grind for it. Speak it, then fight until every bone, every muscle, every breath matches the greatness you've declared. And here's the magic. When you speak it long enough, when you work for it hard enough, there comes a moment when you don't just say it, you embody it. You don't just speak greatness, you are greatness. You don't just repeat the words, you are the words made flesh. That is when the declaration becomes reality. That is when history takes notice. That is when the impossible turns into proof. So never stop declaring. Never stop repeating. Never stop speaking your destiny into existence. Say it when they doubt you. Say it when they cheer for you. Say it when you're on top of the world. And say it when you're knocked to the ground. Speak it until it's no longer something you're chasing. Speak it until it's who you are. Because greatness is not just achieved. Greatness is spoken, lived, and repeated until the world cannot deny it. Confidence is a force. It walks into the room before you do. It speaks louder than your voice, stronger than your fists, and deeper than your talent. Confidence can inspire an army to believe in the impossible, and at the same time, it can make an opponent crumble before the fight even begins. That's the secret most never understand. The greatest battles are not won with punches or power. They are won with presence. They are won with confidence that shakes the air and makes everyone feel it. When you carry yourself with confidence, you give others permission to believe in themselves too. People are drawn to those who stand tall, who speak boldly, who act like their destiny is already written. Confidence sparks fire in others. It says, if I can do it, so can you. It pulls people in, inspires them to rise, and makes them want to follow. That's why leaders speak with conviction, why champions talk like champions long before the titles are handed out. Confidence lights the way for everyone watching, but confidence does more than inspire. It intimidates. Walk into the ring, the stage, or the battlefield with your head high, your shoulders squared, and your words sharp, and you've already won half the fight. Opponents feel it. They sense it. They see the fire in your eyes, and it unsettles them. Confidence whispers in their ear, you can't touch this. It makes them question themselves, doubt their training, and lose before the first punch is even thrown. That's the unseen weapon of the great, the ability to win the mental war before the physical one even starts. Confidence is contagious. Speak with it, and your words carry weight. Move with it, and your actions demand respect. Even those who don't like you can't ignore it. They might hate it, they might resent it, but deep down, they know it's real. And the more you show it, the more they believe it too. Confidence is not about proving yourself. It's about making others feel the truth of who you already know you are. Now, don't confuse confidence with arrogance. Arrogance is loud with nothing behind it. Arrogance is a mask for insecurity. But true confidence is backed by work, sacrifice, and preparation. It's the product of endless hours training when no one is watching. It's the result of pushing through pain, setbacks, and failures until you've built an inner fire that no one can extinguish. When you've done the work, confidence is not an act. It's a reflection of reality. You don't have to fake it because you've earned it. And that's why confidence inspires. People can sense when it's real. They can feel when it comes from a deep place of belief and discipline. That kind of confidence doesn't just lift you, it lifts everyone around you. It tells them greatness is possible, not only for you, but for them too. It becomes a beacon, a light that cuts through doubt, fear, and limitation. Confidence also keeps you steady when the world tries to shake you. Critics will talk, doubters will laugh, enemies will attack, but when you know who you are and what you're capable of, their words slide off you like rain off steel. Confidence makes you unmovable, unshakable, unstoppable. It lets you walk through storms with a smile, knowing the sun is still shining behind the clouds. So understand this confidence is more than a feeling. It is a weapon. It is a shield. It is the fire that inspires the weak to become strong, and the storm that intimidates the strong into feeling weak. With it, you command respect, shift the energy of any room, and take victory before the fight even begins. Without it, even the most talented will fall. Well, walk with it, speak with it, fight with it. Let your confidence become so unshakable, so undeniable, that the world has no choice but to follow your lead or fall before your presence. Words are fire, but fire alone doesn't win battles. Declarations light the path, but footsteps must follow. You can shout, I am the greatest, until your throat is raw. But if your actions don't back it up, those words turn into echoes of emptiness. Talk without work is noise. Talk with work is prophecy fulfilled. Action is the proof. Action is the muscle behind the mouth. Every time a bold statement is spoken, it creates a standard. The moment you say, I will rise, I will conquer, I will be unstoppable, you put yourself on trial. The world listens, the critics sharpen their tongues, the opponents prepare their punches, and now you have one choice. Prove it. This is where many fall. They love the sound of their own declarations, but they refuse the grind that turns words into truth. That's the difference between the pretenders and the legends. The pretender talks, the legend works. Action means sacrifice. It means training harder than anyone else, even when the lights are off and the cameras are gone. It means showing up day after day, running the miles when your legs ache, throwing the punches when your arms burn, pushing through when your lungs beg you to stop. Action means living in alignment with the words you've spoken, refusing to let your mouth write checks your work ethic can't cash. The beauty of action is this: it turns doubt into silence. You don't need to argue with critics. You don't need to defend yourself against hate. Action is the answer. Every drop of sweat is an argument. Every victory is a response. Every display of discipline is proof that your words were never empty. And nothing silences a doubter faster than undeniable results. But action is more than just working hard. It's working smart, with discipline, with strategy, with purpose. Anyone can move, but only the greats move with direction. Anyone can train, but only the disciplined train with vision. Action without aim is wasted energy. Action with vision is unstoppable progress. When you say you're destined for greatness, every choice you make, every step you take must serve that destiny. Your diet, your rest, your circle, your habits, all must rise to the level of your words. That is what separates ambition from reality. And let's be clear, action is not about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. When you declare something bold, you've set a standard for your own soul. You've made a promise to yourself, and action is the way you keep it. Every moment you choose discipline over comfort, every time you push past excuses, every time you give more than you thought you had, you are proving to yourself that your words were never lies. That proof builds confidence, and confidence builds greatness. Action also creates momentum. One small step leads to another. 1 hour of training leads to 2. One victory builds belief for the next. And suddenly, the words you spoke no longer feel like a dream. They feel like the natural outcome of your grind. That's the magic of action. It transforms spoken possibility into lived reality. So let this be the truth burned into your soul. Words start the fire, but action keeps it burning. Without action, the fire dies. Without action, greatness remains just a fantasy. But with action, relentless, disciplined, focused action, your words turn into history. They turn into victories. They turn into a legacy carved in stone. Speak boldly, yes. Declare your greatness, yes. But then rise up every day and fight for it, work for it, sweat for it, bleed for it. Let your actions roar louder than your words until the world no longer remembers what you said. They only remember what you did. A legacy is not built on words alone. Anyone can talk. Anyone can make promises, claim titles, or declare themselves unstoppable. But history does not remember what you said. It remembers what you lived. The world forgets the noise, but it never forgets the proof. Your legacy is carved not by the sound of your voice, but by the impact of your actions. It's when your words and your life align so perfectly that people repeat them long after you're gone. Living your words means embodying them in every breath, every choice, every battle. If you say you're the greatest, you must live like the greatest. You must train like it, fight like it, sacrifice like it. The moment your words and your actions merge, you stop being a person making declarations. You become a symbol of what those declarations mean. And that's when legacy is born. Legacy is about influence. It's about what your courage awakens in others, what your boldness stirs in their hearts. People don't follow empty noise, but they follow living proof. When they see someone declare greatness and then watch them fight every day to make it true, it sparks something inside. It tells them, if they can do it, so can I. That inspiration outlives championships, belts, and records. That inspiration becomes the true measure of greatness. Think about it. The titles fade, the applause dies down, but the story remains. The story of how you said it, how you lived it, how you proved it against all odds. That's the echo of a life lived in alignment with words. That's the sound of a legacy that keeps speaking even when the voice is gone. And that's why it matters to live your declarations, to make sure your life itself becomes the speech the world will never forget. But living your words takes more than confidence. It takes consistency. It takes a commitment to never let your actions fall below the level of your declarations. It means holding yourself accountable when no one else is watching. It means pushing through the days when your body is tired, when your spirit feels weak, when the crowd has disappeared and you're left alone with your own promise. That's where legacy is forged, in the lonely grind, in the sacrifices made when no one is clapping. And here's the power of it once your words and actions align. The world has no choice but to believe you. Even your enemies are forced to respect it. They may not like you, but they cannot deny you. They may resist you, but they cannot erase you. Because you didn't just speak greatness, you lived it. And a lived truth is unshakable. Legacy also means carrying those words beyond yourself. True greatness isn't just about your own victories. It's about what you leave behind. It's about teaching others to speak boldly, to believe fiercely, to live courageously. When you live your words, you give others permission to live theirs. You create a chain reaction, a ripple effect that stretches beyond your own life. That's why legacies never die. They live on in the people they've inspired. So don't just talk. Don't just shout. Don't just make declarations and hope the world remembers them. Live them so deeply, so boldly, so consistently that people have no choice but to carry them forward. Let your life become a living sermon, your actions a testimony, your legacy a blueprint for greatness. At the end of it all, no one will care how loud you spoke. They will care how hard you fought, how true you stayed to your words, and how much you gave to the world through your courage. That is the measure of a legacy, not the noise of a declaration, but the proof of a life lived in alignment with it. Live your words. Let them breathe through your actions. Let them echo through generations. That is how greatness becomes immortal. That is how your name, your spirit, and your fight never die.